Hi everybody, this is Matt, and today I'm going to go with you on how to claim the host with Zoom as a legal videographer. If you're not sure what a legal videographer is or what a legal videographer does, or if you don't know what a deposition is, that's okay. I'm not going to cover that today in this particular video. I'm going to just focus rather on just working with Zoom and how to claim the host. Actually, claiming the host with Zoom is the same for everybody, whether you're doing just a group meeting with your church or if you're doing a video conference for a business meeting. But the examples I'm going to use is more pointed for depositions. And so if I throw in language that you don't understand, I apologize. But just follow along. This can be applied for, you know, every Zoom meeting if you're trying to claim the host. So to me, and I'm going to go over here to my emails, claiming the host is one of the most important features for a legal videographer. And claiming the host allows us to control the environment of Zoom, and also not just for changing preferences and doing other things that the attorneys and lawyers ask us to do, but it allows us to record the proceedings and document everything that's happening in the Zoom session, to present to court if the attorney needs to. To start us off, what we do is usually we get a job order from a client, which is usually a court reporting firm, or if we work directly with attorney or another third-party videographer company, and we confirm the job stating that, yes, I received the email, I accept this job. And usually this is either the day before or the night before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the email that I received. In this email, we receive all this pertinent information regarding the case. To claim the host, the first thing I notice that I have a Zoom meeting URL, and it's in blue color. And what that means is allows me to click on the link and it'll pop open a window and it'll start the Zoom session. Right below that is usually, or somewhere in the body of the email, it'll have the Zoom host key. If you don't have the host key, then basically you can't claim the host, but there are other methods to become the host, and I'll get that into that on the next example. So whether we're recording or not recording, they usually tell us the status. It says do not record on this particular one, but most of the time when we're doing Zoom, we usually do record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the link and it'll pop open a new window. If your link isn't blue, sometimes, and it's not underlined, it doesn't allow you to open a new window. So I'm going to click on this, and it basically asks me whether I want to open a Zoom meeting. And I'm just going to cancel that because I'm going to show you, and I'm going to close this, an example of how to cut. I'm going to select the whole blue text, and I'm going to either do a Control C or I can right click and do a copy. I'll open a new browser, and I can either do a Control V to paste or just right click and paste and go, which is what I just did. I'm going to click on this open Zoom meeting. This window usually pops up, and I usually hit join with video because I'm the first person in the room when we get into our jobs, and I always hit join with computer audio. You don't really need to see me, so I'm going to turn off my video. But as a legal videographer, what we do is we enter the room usually an hour to 30 minutes prior to the starting of the deposition to make sure that when we arrive in the room, all of our equipment works, and we do a sound check to make sure our audio works. before anybody else gets here, so when everybody comes into the room, everything's functioning. Also, other people come into the room and they're not sure how to use Zoom, and we're there to assist them with that as well before the meeting gets started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my email. I'm going to select the host key and copy it, or you can write it down on a piece of paper. I'm going to minimize this, and now I'm going to claim the host. To claim the host, we go down to the bottom and we see the participants tab, and I'm going to click on it. Mine pops open and it has my name on it, and it says invite, mute me, and then you have these three dots. Now when you press the three dots, this is where you claim the host. Sometimes, whether you're using a Mac or a PC, this participants bar or column will show up on the side of your Zoom window, and that's so when this happens, then you go all the way down to the bottom and automatically look for claim the host. So I'm going to hit that button again. The next thing that happens is we get this claim the host window. So whether I copied it and wrote down a piece of paper, or I'm going to paste it in, then I type it, then I claim the host, and now I'm the host. So if you look on the participants column, it says Matt Kwan and it says host, or Matthew Kwan, it says host. So now I'm in control of the Zoom session. And from here, I usually rename it, and I'll change my name. I'll say Matt Kwan, and then whatever position I could be, the videographer today. Oops, and I can't spell. I could be the videographer, or I could be the tech. Sometimes too, if I'm working with a client, then I'll also put the client's name and then say tech. So when people enter the room, they know either I'm the videographer and I'll be recording, or the job title, like I work for the company, and they don't have to question to which party I am, whether it's the defendant's or the plaintiff side. And that's how you claim the host. In the last example I showed you, claiming the host was pretty straightforward and simple. But in this next example, I'm going to show you it's a little bit more involved, but it won't be that much of a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the link on our job assignment for the day. And the first thing that I notice is that the email job interface is a lot different from the last one that we looked at. But that's okay. I mean, every client that we work for, whether it's a court reporting firm, law firm, or a video firm, has their own way of doing things and presenting the information. This particular email is the straight invite from the Zoom link that was provided from Zoom. And but basically it has all the information that we need to do the deposition, which is the case, the name, the time, and the Zoom link. But what I do notice that's missing, it doesn't have a host key. And what that means is upon entering the Zoom session, I need to ask the host to pass us host control or co-host control. Reading this, I see the meeting ID and a passcode. So the first thing that comes to my mind is when I see the passcode is either the court reporting firm's plan doesn't allow them to provide a host key, or maybe they're still new to Zoom, or that the information that's going to be discussed in the deposition is highly confidential and they wanted to add a layer of security. In the worst case scenario, the reason why they added a passcode was in the past, they had an unwanted guest that entered into the Zoom session and disrupted the deposition from the line of questioning from the attorney, and it added unnecessary information to the transcript for an unwanted person. But actually, this doesn't really have anything to do with us, so we're not going to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the link and the Zoom meeting button and wait for the passcode dialog to pop up. So now the enter meeting passcode. Well, either you wrote it down on a piece of paper, or if you want to be a little bit more lazy, you can copy, right click, and paste it into the field. Sometimes it's quicker just to type it down, but I'm going to my keyboard. I'm going to hit a Control V and hit join meeting. So now we're waiting for the host. And since we don't have the host key to take control of Zoom session, so now we have to wait like everyone else for the host to come and to turn on the Zoom session to let everybody in the room. The court reporting firm usually has a designated person to open the Zoom session right before the deposition. So here's another thing for you to take note on. Once someone is the host, no one else can claim the host unless the host assigns host control to that person. When we get into the room, then we'll ask for host control. So now the host has just entered and opened the Zoom room. And now we're waiting for them to let us enter the room. So now we're waiting in the waiting room, waiting for the host to let us in. One of the possible reasons for having us wait in the waiting room is because the court reporting firm or the law firm recycles the Zoom link and passcode from prior sessions, so they won't need to make or create new Zoom links and passcodes. But the problem with that is that anyone with the past login information can join in the Zoom session at any time. Also, if the passcode option is disabled in the Zoom setting preferences, this also allows anyone to enter the Zoom session as well. So having everyone wait in the waiting room is just another layer of security to ensure that only the invited people are present. So now the host allowed me to join the room, and I'm going to join with computer audio. I like to make mine full screen, and you don't need to see me, so I'm going to turn off the video. At this point, when I see the court reporter or the court reporting firm here, they're the host, I would say to them, hey, this is Matt, and I'm the videographer for today, and I'm told that I'm recording. If you could make me the host or co-host, I'd appreciate it. A lot of times they're multitasking, letting other people in, or they're really busy opening other Zoom sessions. So if I don't hear from them, what I'll do is I'll open up the chat, then I'll type in the chat, hi, this is Matt. Whoops, Matt, your vid for the day. I was told that I would be recording. If you, let me get rid of that space. If you could pass me host or co-host control when you are ready, I would appreciate it. Sorry for my typing, it's kind of slow. Enter. So while they're multitasking, they look over and they see the chat and say, oh, okay. And they would go to their participants tab and make us host. Now I look on it and I notice that I have over here it says Matt Kwan videographer host. So now I'm the host. Usually after this, the court reporting firm who's the host doesn't stick around that long. The court reporter comes in and they usually leave the room, and we're free to start our deposition when everybody comes in. Well, I hope that helps everybody, and that's how you ask to be assigned the host as opposed to claiming the host.